You walk into a room, ready to connect, ready to make an impression, but within minutes, you're trapped. You're stuck in the conversational desert of the weather, the traffic, and what you did last weekend. It's a landscape of polite nods and empty phrases. It's draining, it's forgettable, it's a waste of your time, and more importantly, a waste of your mind. The minutes tick by, and you can feel your mental energy just seeping away, replaced by a dull, soul-crushing boredom. You leave feeling more alone than when you arrived, wondering why genuine human connection feels so damn rare. But what if you could change that? What if you held a secret weapon crafted by one of history's sharpest minds that could turn any mundane chat into a profound, memorable exchange? What if you could bypass the scripts and get right to the heart of what makes people tick? Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher sometimes called dynamite for his explosive ideas, knew a secret about power. He knew that real conversational dominance isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about winning arguments or showing off how much you know. It's about controlling the depth of the conversation. This is his strategy for dominating any conversation, not with loud words, but with deep questions that leave everyone in the room thinking long after you've gone. Let's be honest about small talk. It's not just boring, it's a form of social conditioning. It's a carefully constructed set of little white lies we all agree on. When someone asks, "How are you?" they rarely want the real answer. They want the script. "Fine, thanks. How are you?" It's a ritual, a social password that signals you're safe, you'll conform, and you won't challenge the comfortable order of things. Nietzsche would likely have seen this as a symptom of what he called herd morality. This is the morality of the group, which values comfort, safety, and fitting in above all else. In conversation, this means predictable, risk-free exchanges. We talk about the weather because it's shared, neutral ground where no one gets offended, and no one has to reveal anything real about themselves. We stick to these scripts because it's easy. It takes no courage, no vulnerability, no actual thought. But this comfort comes at a huge cost. Nietzsche believed that to become who you truly are, you have to constantly overcome your own limits and challenge the norms that hold you back. Small talk does the exact opposite. It reinforces our limitations. It keeps us in a shallow holding pattern, preventing us from ever reaching the heights of genuine connection and self-discovery. It is, in essence, a cage for the mind. That drained feeling you get after a party isn't just social fatigue. It's what Nietzsche might call a form of existential nausea, the sickening feeling that you're just going through meaningless motions. You're surrounded by people, yet you feel deeply alone because nothing real is being exchanged. The problem with small talk is that it starves the very parts of us that crave stimulation. It's like feeding a lion a diet of lettuce. It'll keep you alive, but you'll be weak and deeply unsatisfied. Intelligent, deep-thinking people often avoid small talk not because they're arrogant, but because they're hungry for something more. They get, on an intuitive level, that time is too precious to spend on conversations that don't challenge or change us. They are starving for a dialogue that feels alive, one that pushes boundaries and creates something new. So, how do we break out of this prison? We have to adopt the mindset of the philosopher himself. To get Nietzsche's secret weapon, we first need to rethink what power in a conversation even means. A lot of people hear Nietzsche and power and picture a ruthless bully trying to crush opponents, but that's a crude misunderstanding of his most famous concept, the will to power. The will to power, for Nietzsche, isn't really about dominating others. It's about self-overcoming. It's the fundamental drive in all of us to grow, to expand, to exert our strength, and to reach our full potential. Life itself, he wrote, is that which must always overcome itself. When you apply this to conversation, the whole game changes. The goal is no longer to win like a debater. The goal is to use the conversation as a launchpad for mutual growth. The aim is to create an environment where both you and the other person are challenged to go beyond your current perspectives. You're not trying to impose your will on them. You're trying to awaken their will to step outside their own intellectual comfort zones. This brings us to a second key Nietzschean idea, perspectivism. It's often summarized by a line from his private notes: "There are no facts, only interpretations." He argued, there's no single objective view from nowhere. All knowledge is filtered through our individual perspectives, which are shaped by our values, our experiences, and our drives. A weak conversationalist is trapped in their own perspective, assuming it's the only one. A master of conversation, however, gets this. They know how to not only share their own viewpoint, but also how to skillfully probe, challenge, and understand the perspectives of others. The more angles you can see on a single issue, the more complete your understanding becomes. The story goes that when Nietzsche first met the composer Richard Wagner, they didn't waste time on pleasantries. They supposedly launched into a deep, hours-long discussion about their shared passion for the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer. Their legendary friendship was forged in the fire of profound ideas, not the lukewarm water of small talk. For Nietzsche, a conversation was a chance to create something new, to give birth to a new thought. As he once wrote, one seeks a midwife for his thoughts, another someone to whom he can be a midwife. Thus originates a good conversation. Your role is to become that midwife. So, how do you actually do this? How do you go from being a passive victim of boring conversations to an active architect of profound ones? It boils down to a few techniques, a series of conversational moves that bypass the superficial and get to the core of a person. Technique 1. The initial strike, the value question. The first 30 seconds of a conversation are critical. This is where the small talk script is strongest. The usual opening is, "What do you do?" This question is a trap. It immediately forces the other person into a pre-packaged box tied to their job. It's a conversation about labels, not about life. A Nietzschean conversationalist dodges this opener. They replace it with a value question. Instead of asking what a person does, you ask what they value. You aim for the why behind their actions. Instead of, "So, what do you do?" Try, "What's something you're working on right now that you're truly passionate about?" Or, "What's a personal project that's been giving you a lot of energy lately?" Or, a bit more daringly, "What's a challenge you've overcome recently that taught you something important?" To see the difference? You can't answer these with a one-word job title. They invite reflection. They signal that you're interested in their inner world, their passions, their struggles, their growth. This connects directly to Nietzsche's focus on self-overcoming. You're asking about their journey, not their static position. This one little shift at the start changes the entire frame of the conversation. You've skipped the boring moat of small talk and gone straight for the castle. The other person is often a little surprised but also refreshed. You've given them permission to be a human, not just a resume. Technique 2. Conversational alchemy. Turning lead into gold. Sometimes you can't escape the mundane. You'll get pulled into a chat about the awful traffic or the bad catering. A novice sees a dead end. A master sees raw material. Nietzschean conversational alchemy is the art of turning a boring topic into a philosophical one. The secret is to find the universal human experience hiding inside the boring topic and connect to that. The topic itself is just a launch pad. If someone says, "The traffic was just awful getting here," the standard response is, "Tell me about it." The conversation dies. The alchemical response is, "It's a weird experience, isn't it? Hundreds of us all stuck in the same situation, each trapped in our own little world, all desperately wanting to be somewhere else." This opens the door to a talk about patience, modern life, or the illusion of control. If someone says, "Can you believe how hot it is?" the standard response is, "I know, it's brutal." The conversation dies. The alchemical response is, "It really makes you think about resilience, doesn't it? What we can actually adapt to and endure." This could lead to a conversation about climate, human ingenuity, or even personal hardship. This technique is all about applying perspectivism. You're taking a shared data point, the weather, and introducing a new, more profound way of looking at it. You aren't dismissing their comment. You're elevating it. You're showing that any part of life, no matter how small, can be a source of meaning if you have the courage to look for it. You're creating value where there was none. Technique 3, philosophizing with a hammer, the why probe. Nietzsche famously subtitled one of his books, "How to Philosophize with a Hammer." This doesn't mean smashing your opponent with aggressive arguments. A better way to see it is like a geologist's hammer, tapping on ideas to see if they're solid or hollow. In conversation, this is the art of the gentle probe, of asking questions that test the foundations of someone's beliefs without making them feel attacked. People often state their opinions as facts. That politician is ruining the country. That movie was terrible. People just don't want to work anymore. The herd instinct is to either agree to keep the peace or disagree and start a fight. The Nietzschean path is to become a curious explorer of their worldview. You use the why probe. When someone states a strong opinion, ask questions like, "That's a really strong conviction. What was it in your life that led you to that conclusion? I can hear how much this matters to you. What is it about that issue that you connect with so deeply?" That's a fascinating way to look at it. What are the core values that shape that perspective for you? These questions do something remarkable. They shift the focus from the what of their opinion to the why of their conviction. You're no longer debating a political point. You're exploring their personal history, their moral compass, their deepest values. This is perspectivism in action. You're showing genuine interest in their unique take on the world. This is incredibly disarming. Instead of making them defensive, it invites them to reflect. You're not trying to prove them wrong. You're trying to understand them. This creates a profound sense of being seen and heard, which is the foundation of all real influence. Technique 4, the art of selective depth. Knowing when to strike this secret weapon, like any powerful tool, requires skill. A common mistake is thinking every single conversation has to be a deep philosophical dive. That's not mastery. That's just being socially awkward. Nietzsche himself, while hating empty social rituals, understood the need for masks in society. True mastery is knowing when to push for depth and when to respect the other person's boundaries. Dominating a conversation isn't about forcing your agenda on everyone. It's about reading the room. Not everyone is up for a deep dive. Some people just want to keep things light, and trying to force depth on them is a kind of conversational violence. The true master has what you could call selective depth. They can navigate the shallow waters of small talk just fine, but they're always alert for an opening to guide the conversation into deeper currents. Pay attention to signals. Does the person's body language open up when you ask a value question? Do their eyes light up? Do they lean in? Those are green lights. Or do they give a short, evasive answer and quickly change the subject? That's a red light. Respect it. Real power lies in this calibration, the ability to dance between the surface and the depths with grace. This is what separates the amateur from the master. The amateur has only one mode, blunt force. The master has a full range of gears and knows exactly when to shift. If you're ready to move beyond the empty scripts and learn how to wield the power of philosophy in your daily life, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. This is a community for thinkers who aren't afraid to ask the interesting questions. In the end, Nietzsche's secret weapon is the realization that true conversational power isn't about controlling others. It's about elevating the exchange itself. It's about transforming a mundane social ritual into a chance for growth, connection, and the creation of meaning. You stop seeing conversations as something that happens to you and start seeing them as something you can actively shape. You become an artist, and the conversation is your canvas. You use value questions to set the frame, conversational alchemy to add color, and the gentle hammer of the why probe to reveal the hidden masterpiece within the other person. When you walk into a room with this mindset, you radiate a different kind of energy. You're not there to take, but to create. You're not there to perform, but to connect. And the great irony is that by abandoning the need to dominate in the traditional sense, you achieve the highest form of influence. People will remember you not just for what you said, but for how you made them think and feel about the world and about themselves. That is the ultimate power. It's quiet, it's profound, and it begins the moment you decide to stop having boring conversations and start creating extraordinary ones.